As we get older, one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is a mind that stays sharp, curious, and full of life. Our brain, just like our muscles, needs regular exercise, proper nourishment, and a healthy environment to stay in its best shape. Many people think memory loss, slower thinking, or reduced mental clarity are unavoidable parts of aging. But research and countless real-life examples show that's simply not true. The brain has an incredible ability to adapt and grow new connections, a trait called neuroplasticity. And this ability can continue well into our later years if we know how to support it. I've worked with people in their 50s, 60s, and even 80s who have transformed their mental sharpness not by luck, but by following consistent habits that nourish the mind every single day. Let's start with the most important truth. Your brain thrives on being challenged. Think of it like a muscle. If you stop using it, it weakens, but if you push it gently, it grows stronger. That means learning new things is not just a hobby, it's a necessity. Whether it's picking up a new language, learning to play an instrument, or even mastering a new recipe, every time you take in new information and make your brain work in unfamiliar ways, you're helping it stay agile. I remember one of my clients, Linda, who at 62 decided she wanted to learn watercolor painting. She had never painted before, but she committed to spending 30 minutes a day learning techniques, mixing colors, and creating her own pieces. Within months, she noticed not just improvement in her art, but also in her memory, focus, and mood. That's the beauty of brain stimulation. It spills over into all areas of life. But keeping your brain young is not only about learning. It's also about protecting it from harm. Chronic stress, poor diet, lack of sleep, and social isolation are some of the biggest enemies of brain health. Stress, for example, floods your body with cortisol, which over time can damage the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for forming new memories. That's why managing stress through mindfulness, meditation, or even simple deep breathing exercises can be so powerful. When your body is calm, your brain can focus on building connections rather than defending itself from constant tension. Nutrition is another cornerstone. Your brain is a high-energy organ. It uses about 20% of the calories you consume. So the quality of your diet directly impacts how well it functions. Diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins like B12 and D have been linked to slower cognitive decline. Foods like fatty fish, walnuts, berries, and leafy greens can do wonders for your brain's resilience. On the other hand, diets high in processed sugar and trans fats can impair memory and learning. A few years ago, I worked with a retired teacher named John who had been experiencing frequent forgetfulness and trouble concentrating. We reviewed his lifestyle and found that his diet was heavy in sugary snacks and fried foods. After gradually shifting to a Mediterranean-style diet, rich in whole grains, fresh produce, lean proteins, and healthy fats, he noticed significant improvement in his mental clarity within just a few months. Sleep is the third pillar of brain health that can't be ignored. During deep sleep, your brain clears away toxins and consolidates memories, making it easier to recall information later. Adults over 50 often struggle with sleep due to changes in hormones, pain, or stress. But prioritizing a consistent bedtime, limiting caffeine in the afternoon, and creating a calming pre-sleep routine can make a world of difference. I had one client who simply started turning off her devices an hour before bed and replaced evening TV time with reading a light novel. Within weeks, she reported feeling sharper in the morning and less forgetful throughout the day. And let's not forget about movement. Physical exercise is not just for your body, it's one of the most powerful tools for brain health. Activities like brisk walking, dancing, or even gardening increase blood flow to the brain, bringing oxygen and nutrients that support cognitive function. Exercise also stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that helps grow and protect brain cells. In my own practice, I've seen people who commit to just 20 to 30 minutes of moderate activity most days experience noticeable improvements in memory and deep processing speed. It's not about becoming a marathon runner, it's about consistency. Social Connection is the final key in this first part of our journey. Humans are social beings, and our brains light up when we engage in meaningful conversations, share experiences, and laugh with others. Isolation, on the other hand, is a major risk factor for cognitive decline. Staying connected could mean joining a local book club, volunteering, or even having regular phone calls with family and friends. One woman I know, Margaret, who lives alone in her 70s, joined a community choir. Not only did she make new friends, but the act of learning new songs and harmonizing challenged her brain while filling her life with joy. All these elements: mental stimulation, stress management, good nutrition, quality sleep, regular movement, and social connection form the foundation for keeping your brain young. And the best part is, it's never too late to start. Even small, steady changes can create a ripple effect that transforms the way your mind works. In the next part, we'll explore how everyday habits and small decisions shape your brain's long-term health. And I'll share powerful, science-backed techniques you can begin using immediately to boost memory, focus, and creativity. When we talk about everyday habits that shape brain health, it's important to remember that the brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you do repeatedly. This means every choice you make is either building stronger mental pathways or allowing them to weaken. One of the most overlooked habits for maintaining a sharp mind is paying attention to how you use your time. Many people over 50 find themselves falling into repetitive routines, and while routines can bring comfort, they can also limit the brain's exposure to new challenges. Think about the last time you tried something truly unfamiliar, maybe a different route to the grocery store, a new recipe, or a hobby you never considered before. These moments of novelty send signals to your brain to wake up, adapt, and grow. A great example is my friend Robert, who at 68 decided to take up ballroom dancing with his wife. At first, he was hesitant. He had never danced formally before, but within weeks, the combination of learning steps, coordinating movements, and staying in rhythm with music brought new energy to his life. Not only did he and his wife feel more connected, but Robert noticed he was recalling names, dates, and details more easily. This is the power of stepping outside your comfort zone. Another daily habit that impacts your brain more than you might think is how you consume information. In the digital age, we're surrounded by constant notifications, short videos, and bite-sized content. While this can be entertaining, it often encourages shallow thinking and fragmented attention. To keep your brain young, make time for deep, focused activities: reading a book, writing in a journal, solving a crossword puzzle, or working on a challenging project without distractions. This kind of mental deep work trains your brain to sustain focus and process information more effectively. One of my clients, Diane, shared how she replaced her nightly habit of scrolling on her phone with reading historical novels. She found herself becoming more patient, more curious, and surprisingly, her conversations became richer because she was drawing on the stories and facts she absorbed. Mindfulness is another habit with enormous benefits for brain health. It's more than just meditation. It's the practice of bringing your full attention to the present moment. Mindfulness reduces stress, improves concentration, and even changes the structure of the brain in ways that support memory and emotional balance. You can start small by paying attention to the taste of your food, the feeling of your breath, or the sounds in your environment. A retired nurse I worked with began doing 5 minutes of mindful breathing before breakfast each day. She told me that not only did her mornings feel calmer, but she also became less forgetful about small daily tasks. Hydration is often overlooked, but it's essential for optimal brain function. Even mild dehydration can cause fatigue, poor concentration, and mood changes. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable, so it's easy to drink less than our body needs. Keeping a water bottle nearby and sipping throughout the day is a simple way to keep your brain well-fueled. I always tell people, if you feel tired, foggy, or irritable, drink a glass of water before you do anything else. Then there's the habit of practicing gratitude, which may seem unrelated to brain sharpness but has profound effects on mental health. Gratitude encourages positive thinking patterns, reduces stress hormones, and increases resilience. A grateful brain is more adaptable and better equipped to learn. Try ending your day by writing down 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. This habit helps shift your focus from what's wrong to what's going well, creating a healthier mental environment for growth. Let's also talk about the role of music and art in brain health. Listening to music you love, especially learning to play an instrument or sing, stimulates multiple areas of the brain at once: memory, motor skills, and emotions. Art, whether creating it or appreciating it, engages your imagination and problem-solving skills. I knew a retired engineer who began sculpting at 70. He told me that feeling clay in his hands and shaping it into something tangible was both relaxing and mentally stimulating. And his friends noticed he seemed sharper and more energetic. One more powerful habit is teaching or mentoring others. When you explain a concept to someone else, you deepen your own understanding and strengthen the memory of that information. Many seniors find great fulfillment in tutoring children, volunteering at community centers, or sharing their expertise in clubs and online forums. It's a win-win. You keep your brain active while making a meaningful impact. Remember, brain health is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about making small, intentional choices that challenge and nourish your mind daily. In part 3, we'll look at how to put all these habits into a simple, sustainable plan. And I'll share inspiring stories of people who started later in life yet achieved remarkable improvements in their memory, focus, and creativity. You'll see exactly how you can begin today, no matter your current starting point. Now that you know the habits that keep your brain young, the next step is creating a plan you can follow without feeling overwhelmed. The key is balance, choosing a few core activities that fit naturally into your lifestyle and committing to them consistently. Let's start with a daily rhythm for mental stimulation. Dedicate at least 20 to 30 minutes a day to learning something new. This could be reading a challenging book, practicing a hobby, or solving puzzles. The important part is that it requires focus and offers a bit of difficulty so your brain works to adapt. Remember, growth happens when you stretch just beyond what's comfortable. Pair this with regular physical activity. Aim for at least 20 minutes most days, whether it's walking, swimming, or dancing. Movement increases blood flow and encourages the production of chemicals that help brain cells grow stronger. Many people find it motivating to combine movement with social connection, like joining a walking group or taking a dance class. For nutrition, make small changes instead of trying to overhaul your diet overnight. Start by adding one brain-friendly food to each meal, maybe berries with breakfast, leafy greens at lunch, or salmon for dinner. Drink water throughout the day. And try to limit processed foods and sugary snacks, which can cloud your thinking. As you build these habits, notice how your energy and focus improve. Sleep should be protected like a valuable appointment. Set a consistent bedtime and wake-up time, and create a relaxing routine before bed. Dim the lights, read something uplifting, or practice deep breathing. Your brain will thank you in the morning with clearer thinking and better memory. To keep stress low, weave mindfulness into small moments. You don't need a meditation cushion or an hour of silence. Just pause for 30 seconds, notice your breath, and let your shoulders relax. This simple act signals to your brain that it's safe, allowing it to shift from survival mode to growth mode. Gratitude is another practice to anchor your day. You might say one thing you're thankful for each morning while making coffee, or jot down 3 things each night before bed. Over time, this rewires your brain to look for positive moments, which makes it more resilient in the face of challenges. And always remember the power of connection. Make it a goal to speak with at least one person each day, whether it's a friend, neighbor, or someone you meet while running errands. Social interactions keep your brain active and engaged, and they bring joy, which is its own form of medicine. Let me share a story that ties all of this together. A few years ago, I met Eleanor, a 74-year-old widow who felt her memory slipping. She was forgetting appointments, losing track of conversations, and feeling less confident in social situations. Instead of giving in to frustration, she decided to make a change. She joined a local book club for stimulation and connection. Started walking with a neighbor 3 mornings a week. Replaced her afternoon cookies with fruit and nuts and began doing a 5-minute breathing exercise before bed. The changes were small, but she did them consistently, within 6 months. Eleanor's friends noticed she was more lively and engaged. And she reported that her memory lapses had dramatically decreased. She told me, "I didn't just get my memory back, I got my life back." That's the kind of transformation that is possible when you care for your brain the way you care for your body. The truth is, keeping your brain young isn't about avoiding aging, it's about embracing it with intention. Every day is an opportunity to nourish your mind, challenge your thinking, and connect with others. And the earlier you start, the more powerful the benefits. But it's never too late to begin. As we close, I encourage you to think of one habit from what we've discussed today and commit to it for the next week. Maybe it's learning a new skill, calling a friend each day, or adding more leafy greens to your meals. Start small, stay consistent, and let the results inspire you to add more. Your brain is your most valuable asset. It holds your memories, your creativity, your problem-solving skills, and your sense of self. By caring for it, you're not just preserving who you are, you're creating space for who you can still become. So keep learning, keep moving, stay connected, and feed your mind with the best you can give it. In doing so, you'll find that age becomes just a number, and your life can remain rich, vibrant, and full of possibility.